Hey guys, welcome back to Sit Rep. How's things? Hope all is well. I want to start by saying thank you to all the people that have been emailing and subscribing and showing support, posting comments on what I do. It's nice to know that I'm not just blowing wind on the internet. I do know that there's a lot of other people that offer their opinions on firearms and firearms accessories and evaluations. And man, I'll tell you, the one thing I've realized is everyone's got an opinion, and I've got my own. So with that being said, I did get a lot of emails and questions regarding the Sig Pros. That little video I did hung over down at Chester Arms in Chester, New Hampshire. And man, I'll tell you, doing these videos on the cuff without editing them is it's tough. But anyways, I did get a lot of emails. I happen to own 3 of them. One I picked up that day, and I'm going to tell you the story. It's this one right here. And first generation, second generation, sorry, Glock, I'm stealing your terminology. This was a Illiflon coated all German model, but really wasn't manufactured that long ago. The 2 other versions I don't have are the ones that are being made in Exeter, New Hampshire. Now, I don't want one made at Exeter. Personal opinion, okay? Nothing to do about the company. Nothing to do about the quality of the firearm. I'll explain why later. With that being said, let me move this out of the way. Let me segue this one over here. This is a 40 cal Sig Pro 2340. One of the first Sig Pros I ever bought. I bought this off the marketing director at Sig at the time. I actually carried a Sig Pro 2340 in 357 Sig while I worked for an SRT at a nuclear power station in New Hampshire. With that being said, I want to segue into something for a second. People say that if you leave your magazine loaded, it will not affect the spring. I am here to tell you my personal opinion is bullshit. And I'll tell you why. At the end of a shift, when we had to clear our weapon and we took the barrel and put it into the clearing barrel and we racked the slide back and we took the magazine out, or actually took the magazine out, there was always a round left dangling inside the mag well. So with this pointed in the clearing barrel, we'd have to shake the gun and the round would fall out. All right? That's because the same damn magazines were loaded and compressed for years at a time without rotating them. People can say what they want unless they have proof. If you got an argument, you better bring facts to it. So I'm telling you right now, if you keep your magazines loaded, rotate the sons of bitches every 3 months. Not going to hurt you to do it, okay? Because if there's going to be a possible malfunction caused by a failed magazine spring, it's going to happen. But I'll tell you right now, if you leave these loaded, that spring depressed for a long time is going to ruin its tension. Okay, off my rant. Anyways, original Sig Pro released right at the time of the ban, the assault weapon ban, and Sig immediately started doing mass compliant or compliant magazines with 10-round magazines. They also had the magazines that had the for sale for law enforcement only, and they actually made for a very short period of time a mass compliant version that has the round chamber indicator, the half moon cutout on the slide, on the barrel, but they've been around for a while. So when I originally started telling you about these guns, I told you that there was a company that made lights and lasers for them. Laser Devices is out of California. They were contracted. These guys made high quality military stuff. Good stuff. But it was made for the Sig Pro because the Sig Pro had the proprietary railing system on it. Now, the railing system on here is like European design. H&K was doing the same thing, not like a Picatinny rail system. So Laser Devices was contracted to make these. They came out. They're machined. They're really nice, good quality. They have an ambidextrous activation switch on here. Here's the biggest problem. That's the battery it takes. You sure as hell ain't going to find that at Walgreens. You can find them. You have to hunt and search around, but kind of a pain in the ass. Kind of makes the new lights from like Insight Technology and Surefire that much more nicer, taking the 1, 2, 3 batteries. But anyways, it's a cool design. It just forms up with the frame, but finding a holster for this is a real bitch. Can't find it. Those large generic nylon holsters would work just fine. This one's married up with a Crimson Trace laser grip. I actually do like these grips, the way that they activate with the squeeze of the finger, but this is first generation. Okay. Second generation, now this is the one that I picked up the other day. The only difference is I swapped out the slides. This is the original slide that came with it. I actually had a 9mm slide that had a Cerakoting on it, had the Heine sights on it. This one has a laser device laser system. The body design, the locking mechanism is the same. The toggle activation switch is the same. It can be done with the dominant or non-dominant hand, okay? And it fits to the frame. The only difference between this model here and the Generation 1, or the first design, is now they started to machine a part of the mold where you can now access the takedown lever a little bit better. This is actually part of the slide lock lever. And when it's in depressed position, you can take your finger now, push that through, slide this off, you're good to go. That's the only major design between the two models, okay? 9mm. I have a 40 slide for this also. You can swap the barrels out from 9 to 40 and also the same backwards. You just have to change out the magazine. But I do want to say one thing to all those people that are swapping out the barrels. This is a 9mm 2009 slide. And you can see here, the slide has more meat machined out of it. So the slide is technically lighter than a 2340 slide or a 40. There's a reason for that. So now if you want to turn around and put a 40 caliber barrel in a 2009 slide, Sig sells 2 different recoil guide rod springs. There's a reason for this. Different tensions, different kinetic energies between the 9 and the 40. Don't beat the gun up. All right? It's not just as simple as dropping a barrel in, it's going to work. Make sure you change the recoil guide rod spring too. All right? But I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people are swapping out barrels going, hey, my gun works. It's going to work. But you're also beating the shit out of it. So take precaution. At least change out the recoil guide rod spring. And keep in mind, you start firing plus P through this, and it's a lightened slide, you're going to bang the hell out of the internals. So keep that thought in mind. So second generation, first generation. Also, another difference was, you notice that has the flat floor plate opposed to the finger rest floor plate or the pinky rest floor plate. This is a better design. One of the inherent flaws of this gun is the frame is short. My pinky will fall underneath here. So when I go to do a magazine change, if I'm not doing an Emily post and getting my finger out of the way, I'm going to bite it. And I'll tell you, I've bitten it several times doing IDPA or IPSC or even some federal qualifications on this. But anyways, going down to the creme de la creme. If you're an avid Sig Pro or a Sig fanatic, this is definitely the holy grail of SIGs. And what makes it the holy grail, you may ask? Well, I may tell you. All German made, matching serial numbers on the barrel, the slide, and the frame. Illiflon coated slide, round chamber gauge style, round chamber indicator. Has the lanyard loop, which is not really a big thing. And this one is a 2022, so it does have the generic Picatinny railing system. Now I say generic because this is not a true mil-spec 1913. Don't be confused. The 220 Combat is a true mil-spec Picatinny rail system. There's a lot of lights and lasers that will not fit that, and they need adapter plates to be put inside there because the cuts and lands are much deeper. All right? So this is a generic Springfield XDs, all the other guns out there, Smith & Wesson M&Ps, they're generic. All right, so anyways, the Illiflon coating, the Illiflon coating is not approved from the EPA in the United States to be manufactured here. It is a Teflon-based coating. Anything that comes on this is going to slide off. Puke, blood, brain matter, whatever. It's going to slide off. Definitely a bonus. Secondary upgrade from the original design is they went with a standard classic trigger guard. The other ones are more rounded. Now you can see here on the frame, they've actually cut out that recess a little bit deeper, so now breaking the gun down is just that much more easier, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't like the new Sig Pros that are coming out of Exeter. Once again, it's not performance, it's preference. They have an external extractor. Last time I heard there was never a problem with the internal extractor of these firearms. That's number one, okay? Number two, they are using a hollow firing pin retaining pin. I don't like a hollow pin. I like a solid pin. Anything hollow is subject to crush or even fail. If it's solid, it'll probably withstand the beatings a lot more. But anyways, another thing that's really neat about this Original Sauer magazines. Has the clear windows in the back to see how many rounds you have. These are Sauer mags. Metcar has been making magazines for Sig for many years. I have no problem with Metcar. I do like German stuff. German definitely makes good quality products. So I'm prone to go towards the original German stuff opposed to some of the other ones. But anyways, so this just gives you a quick idea and a quick rundown on the Sig Pros. The different lights and lasers originally designed for the early model Sig Pros. Frames were made in Switzerland. Slides, even back in the day, were being made in Exeter, New Hampshire. All German, German-made frame, German-made slide, triple serial numbers all matching. To me, I love the Sig Pro. It's a good gun. It's very reliable. I think it got a rebirth just recently. A lot of people are buying them now and starting to be competitive with some of the M&Ps and the XDs and stuff like that. Check out a Sig Pro if you haven't. I think you'll enjoy them. And keep the emails coming in. Keep the comments coming in. Any suggestions, let me know. And also on the Mark 22, that Austrian Sporting Arms 22, I'm going to get a range report in soon. It's all about time. There's been things keeping me busy, and I'm doing the best I can. All right, with that being said, be safe, shoot straight. Practice what you carry what you practice. Be safe. Take care. Thanks, guys.